Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning and welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. My name's Bill Allen. I'm sitting in for Winston Chester this morning, who is out of town, and we're glad you're with us. We got a great show lined up for you today, one of my favorite segments because I'm a big fan of this show, and I watch it every day. So this is something I'm looking forward to. Weather today brought to us by Haney Technical Center, 767-5500. High today, 89, wind southwest, 5 to 10 with a 30% chance of rain. It's just kind of the same old summertime forecast that we always have. Let's take a look at the tides brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and my good buddy and fishing partner Greg Brudnicki. This morning, Panama City high at 629 with a low at 446 this afternoon. So we got a good, decent tide today. Going to be high in just a few minutes, so you got a nice falling tide all morning if you get a chance to go. Fishing game times brought to us another buddy of mine, fishing partner Mark Cowart from Edgewater Beach Realty. 8:58 this morning to 10:58 prime time, and tonight 9:26 to 11:26. And I tell you, with this weather the way it is, and it's so hot. Any moon at all or a decent night when the wind's not blowing, it's a great time to be out there and take advantage of these late feeding times. Top water at night is one of the most exciting things you can do in the shallows. So, all right, we're going to take a quick break and come back with our very special guest today. Welcome back. I'm joined today by Clay from Divers Den. Appreciate you coming in this morning, man. How's it going?
Good. You?
Doing real well, real well. Very excited because July 1, scallop season opens.
That's right.
And I know we typically talk about diving, or you guys do when you're on, and we're going to get to that, but it's real important, and people I don't think realize it enough, to get a good quality mask and snorkel and set up, you know, to go scalloping.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you don't have to spend $300 or $400 on a professional diving mask. But and I know because I went down there and I bought several for my family, and just kind of tell them what you got and what you do for people who are snorkeling, people who are going to go scalloping.
Well, on your mask, it's like anything else. The silicone that it's made out of is of better quality. The better quality it is, the more it costs. The glass is slightly different, but for snorkeling, the glass really doesn't matter.
Right.
It's the silicone that matters and how it fits and seals to your face. And they're not as expensive. I think the ones at our store range from about $20. I think the most expensive regular mask we have is probably $115. But there is a big difference. Fit to your face, having a good selection, a mask you can take out, try on, make sure it seals to your face is really important.
Yeah, and I think that's a point that a lot of people may miss on this, especially when, you know, you have younger kids and your wife's going, girlfriend's going, or hopefully not at the same time. But anyway, it is to having that mask that fits, you know, and having somebody who can help you instead of just walking in somewhere and picking one off the shelf.
That's right. We have about 20 different styles, sizes, shapes at each store. Colors, you can even get different colors if you want.
That's very important to a certain segment, don't you find out?
Yeah, color matters to part of us.
And you know what, I was really, you know, when I went in there to buy these for the family, just to redo, in other words, you've got everything, right? You've got the bags, you got the gloves, the mask, and the snorkels. And don't overlook the snorkels, guys. I mean, you know, you need a decent one, or you don't be doing anything but sucking water the whole time.
And we have snorkels have come a long ways. You have a regular conventional snorkel, a J-tube. You have snorkels that will close, seal up when you go underwater. Most all of them have purges to get the water out easier.
Yeah.
And they're color matched too for the ladies. You can get
like
whatever color you want.
Like everything else, you know, it's all come a long way.
Yeah.
Now I know Winston, when we go, he likes to use you know, some smaller snorkeling fins, you know, when he's doing around. But I personally like to wear those diving boots. You know, because I mean, we're not in, most of the time, not in that deep of water, so you know, I like those boots for the protection. You know, it keeps the sand out, and that's another thing you got a full range of there, don't you?
Yes, yes, full selection of boots and socks. We have the true snorkel fins, which are the real short fins, dive fins, and we have free dive fins if you really want to go fast and get your snorkels.
Yeah,
I mean, your scallop.
Your scallop.
Yeah, yeah.
Fast is good when they're, you know, when they're
There's
in.
plenty of them.
When
Yeah.
there's plenty of them. And you know, I was talking to Winston earlier. There was a timing issue, I guess, this year where they come down and do that study every year.
Right.
And maybe a communications issue, I don't know, but they basically called Winston because he always goes.
Right.
And it's real interesting to watch those guys run those lines. And of course, they do it with scuba equipment, so they can stay down and you know, run those lines. But I guess I don't know what happened, maybe a mix-up. But they called him the morning they were going. So you know, obviously he's pretty busy in the mornings,
right.
and especially with school, when school was winding down and everything else. So he didn't really, you know, have the opportunity to go. And I haven't seen the count yet, but it's, you know, it's at every fourth year. And last year was supposed to be the bad year, you know, although
So we should be good this
we
year.
did pretty good. So I think for the next 3 years. So, and you were mentioning to me before, I know you got this in all those, but you especially ramp up for the scallop and the snorkeling and stuff like that in your Tyndall store,
Yes,
right?
Tyndall store, we stock it up really good before season because that's on the way out of town. They
Yeah.
can stop by there on the last minute before they go into Tyndall and get what they need.
Yeah, and you know, I say my wife, but I like to use them too. You know, you've got those real light rubber-coated gloves that, you know, because occasionally you grab a sea urchin or something like that.
Yeah, they're
you're
hanging out
digging
with
around.
them.
And also, something that makes it more enjoyable is the defogger. I don't know what you call it, but the little tube you put in the mask and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, you have two things. You have a cleaner, a sea buff cleaner that cleans the mask, conditions it, and then you have the defog that actually works very well to keep the mask from fogging up.
It does work extremely well.
Yeah.
Extremely well. So basically, if you're headed out, it's a one-stop shop, right?
Most anything you need, we have.
You need it,
for
or you
scalloping.
forgot it.
That's right.
Do you have the buckets?
Buckets, flags, floats, whatever you need.
You know
we have
what?
it.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That flag is not only very important, but it's the law.
It is the law. And there's two of them. You got the small flag that floats with you, and then you got a larger flag that you actually have to put on the boat.
Put on the
It's not
boat.
the same
And
flag.
the rules?
I think it's 200 feet. You're supposed to stay within 200 feet of your flag.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, that's real important. You need to know that when you're running the boat. You need to know that when you're in the water, because you know, you need to be safe, especially when you're out there and there's a whole lot of people. You know, I mean, it's just it's critical, and it's the law. So check the laws on that. Make sure you got that flag with you, whether it's in the boat or whether you're dragging it with you, and they got them down there. So let's take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk some more diving. Welcome back. We're glad you're with us. We're here with Clay from Divers Den. I can't speak this morning, which is nothing unusual, but that was kind of our snorkeling segment with you. This is something that I really enjoy because, you know, I started diving back in the mid-'70s, and thanks to, you know, an ear problem and old age, I can't really dive anymore, not deep, but I really enjoy the video that you guys bring and share, you know, to see that other world that a lot of people don't get to see.
Right.
So what do you got for us this morning?
We got a little bit. Well, you know, Bob is normally here. He's our video expert, but we do have some here that was shot on the Bart, and it is of a turtle. Let's see if we can get it to go.
Man,
Turtle and a
look at
bunch
that.
of fish are, I don't know if they're cleaning his back or they're just harassing him.
And that's something, and the visibility right now, obviously, is good.
Oh, you're looking at 40 to 60 feet most
Yeah.
time now. I think you got a diver that comes in, and the turtle all of a sudden sees her and takes off.
Ha. And the Bart, that was one that was one of the FWC or state. They sunk that one.
Yes, I think it's a 180-foot supply vessel, oil field supply vessel.
Yeah, decent size.
Yes, good. It's been there a long time. Holds lots of fish. The newest one's the Red Sea. The bridge spans still are my favorite. They don't sound very spectacular, but they hold just tremendous amounts of fish
Tons
and
of
diversity.
Tons of fish. Yeah. your trips right now, I mean, or is it mostly just is it spearfishing trips? I mean,
we're doing a lot of both. You got a lot of people come down just to dive. They're here on vacation, and a lot of your tourists don't spearfish a whole lot. They come from the Midwest, so they're just here to dive and look, enjoy it. But you have a lot of locals that are spearfishing.
Sure.
And it's just like with the fishermen right now. It's busy out there right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Poor snapper is running for cover because everybody is after him.
Well, everybody I talk to, it's it's just tons of snapper out there.
There's a lot of snapper. There's a lot of big ones, and there is a lot of snapper in that bottom 2 to 3 inch slot. Yeah. They're everywhere. The inshore ones that see a lot of divers, they get skittish pretty quick. They're there.
Yeah.
There is a lot of big snapper on the inshore wrecks. They're hanging off about 50 foot off the wrecks, swimming around with the jacks. Really? Jacks all show up. They know when season closed. They're there. I dove Saturday and seen, I know at least 7,500 triggerfish that were legal. Wow. Right on the edge of being legal, way down to the west end. My favorite fish to eat, trigger, and I find them when it closes.
A lot of people pass that up. For years passed it up, and I mean, you almost need a chainsaw to clean them. But once you get that done,
once you figure out how to clean them, though, it's pretty simple to clean them. And they're great. They're my favorite fish to eat.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So, you started when I started. It was really to spearfish, I mean, it was the hunting and the fishing and the whole 9 yards. And then you realize, if you stop and take a little bit of time and get down there, man, just how gorgeous everything is. Of course, there's a lot more planned wrecks and things now, than there used to be. But, we used to dive on the stages and on the tarpon and, the Empire Micah was always a big trip, if you got to go out there.
Yeah, I've been into it one time. It is starting to deteriorate. It's collapsed down more. It's opened up now. The last storm kind of broke the hull and flipped it over a little bit. Still a great wreck, though. I like to dive the wrecks that are truly wrecks. Tarpon's still one of my favorites.
Any bottles left on the tarpon?
Occasionally, you see one.
Really?
I still think somebody come along and picks them up pretty quick. If they uncover,
you think most of them covered up now?
Yeah, they're covered up, or they've been toted off.
We stopped there on the way back, and I don't know. Well, this was probably 1978 or 77 or somewhere around there. And I'd been on it, I don't know how many times, because it's a favorite stop, especially if we've been somewhere else, and you pick up some nice grouper there from time to time, and an amberjack if you were ambitious enough
black
to
snapper
shoot
on
one. And for some reason, I just for those of you who don't know, the tarpon transported beer and bottles between here and Pensacola, right?
I think it went Mobile, Pensacola, Panama City. I think it done Apalachicola also. I think that was its run.
All the
way back
circle.
And forth, yeah.
And they had two types, or the only two types that I ever saw, the short, fat ones and then the taller ones on there, brown bottles. And for some reason, and they used to be just scattered all over the place, but for some reason I decided to pick up one of each, that day. And I've got them, in my office now, and I talk to guys like that, and they're just, they're just about gone unless
they're
sand shifts or something, and you see them. So that's a pretty neat thing to have,
There's a lot of bottles out there now, but they're usually Budweiser bottles.
They're a little newer.
Little
newer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that, we got so many things out there that, and the tarpon being one of them, went down due to hurricanes or trying to get back, inclement weather and like you said, I love those natural wrecks. There's so much history about it.
It makes you think about
it. Does
what went through their mind and what was going on.
Yeah, that's very.
They were missing for a day before they even knew they were missing. It's not like now. You know instantly.
The radios and the EPIRBs and all that kind of stuff. But
we got it easy.
No, that's true. That's true. Safety now and everything is just so much more prevalent. So, do you have? Are there things not necessarily like that, but when they bring these people down who aren't spearfishing, are they picking things up? A lot of shells around those, or they just mostly enjoy it?
You do get some shell collectors. They get the dead sand dollars that are on the sand. They get a few shells. Most of them are cameras. Yeah. The video cameras have got so small now with the contour cameras, those little small cameras. You have tremendous amounts of people just doing video. You still have some people with a big still cameras, but mostly it's video.
You know, I remember we used to, you had these big, clumsy camera housings that a regular
Monsters,
camera
yes.
just fit inside. And, you know, and we were just starting to try to take some pictures, you know, if somebody would have one. And they were just so difficult to use because the lever was out here. It didn't have to hit the button. And, I mean, it just made it so difficult, nobody really wanted to do it. But
that's
now
right.
you just grab these things and go, right?
We actually mount them on the spear guns. So we actually have the little cameras mounted on the guns or on whatever you're using, and you're just filming the whole time. And sometimes you get good video, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah. You just kind of delete those misses and
bad
hits and stuff.
You've probably only 25% of your divers are really spear fishermen now.
Really? Just enjoying the sights.
Most of them are just enjoying the sights, going in the other world.
All right, guys, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. I'm here with Clay from Divers Den, and you took a trip yesterday and got some pretty cool video, right?
We got a video of a nurse shark on span 14, which is right outside the pass.
Let's take a look at that.
To start with, you're not going to see him, because you see the bunch of bait fish on here.
Wow.
He is actually in that bait fish, and you'll start to see him as Carlos scares the bait fish off of him and gets closer.
How about that?
So you can start to see his one little fin right in here,
Oh,
his
yeah.
nose.
Oh, yeah.
He'll scare him off and he'll swim out, go right past the divers. He was 6-7 foot is what they told me he was.
Yeah, they say a nurse shark won't hurt you.
Well, they say that.
They say a lot of things, don't they?
But I have seen a video of that guy down south kissing one that hurt. It didn't work out too good. It amazes me how all the bait fish hide around the big fish. The glass are the same way.
They just encompassed him, didn't
The
they?
glass groupers will be just covered up in bait fish like that. I suppose that's their safety. Nobody's going to mess with them around the shark.
And he is right on top of that thing.
Yeah. See, now he's getting nervous. He's starting to move.
Yeah. You get within that comfort zone.
There he comes.
Look at that. That is some great video. Waving goodbye.
And away he goes.
There you go. Now, that is cool. Now, you know, if you want to see that for yourself, it's not that hard to do, right?
It's not that hard. It's not hard. It only takes 3 days now. We do e-learners now, so you can do the classroom part home sitting on your couch.
Really?
And if you're really on a tight schedule with an e-learn, you can really do all your dives in 2 days. We don't do it very often, but you can do the e-learn at home and come in, take your quizzes, make sure you actually done your e-learn, go to the pool, go do 1 dive that afternoon, and come back the next day and do 3 dives at the springs, and you're a certified diver.
Yeah.
The conventional way is to add the extra day to it.
Sure.
Come in the first day, go to the pool, then go to the springs, do 3 dives, then we'll put you on the boat, do your last dives on the boat. It's not very expensive.
And you don't have to have everything, right?
No.
If you want to learn, you're not being held back because you don't have all the equipment.
No, everything is furnished in the class. What we like for you to buy is your mask, your snorkel, your fins and booties.
Well, that's a personal thing.
That's your personal gear. Everything else is furnished in the class. We even furnish it even as you go along. If you move up to advanced, we furnish the gear in the other classes. Boat trip is included, weather permitting.
Right.
If you're here from out of town, and it's 7-foot seas and you can't go out, well, we're going to certify you at the springs.
Right.
But if we can get you on the boat, we're going to get you on the boat, and that's included and certified. And we do it 1 extra dive at the spring, so you have 1 dive on the boat certifies you. The next dive on the boat that day is a free dive. You're actually going down and just getting an extra dive with your instructor. Just swim around, do what you want. Your class is over, you're certified. Go enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, you start out with, you're doing your pool work. You get used to the equipment, to the breathing.
That's right.
It's a little bit different, but, it doesn't take long to get used to it.
It doesn't take long at all.
Now, you say the springs. I know what you're talking about, but where are you taking?
We go to Morrison Springs.
Yeah.
Most of the time we go to Morrison, occasionally Vortex. Vortex, they charge you to get in there, and it's not as pretty. It's not as clear as Morrison's. Really? Yeah, it doesn't clean out as good the way it's made. Now, when the river's high, it doesn't flood.
Right.
So it's consistent. It's always the same. But
Right. Yeah, we used to go dive those, again, back in the 70s when I started. Just absolutely beautiful,
they are.
Clear water, outlines of the caves there, and just all the freshwater fish in the world. They don't seem to be bothered by the divers.
No, what amazes me is going to Cypress Springs and Vernon, same way, is the flounder. You'd be amazed at the flounder. Most all of them are under 3 inches long, little small flounder that are in those springs.
You have a lot of people interested in taking those kind of trips. I mean, I know there are groups that come down here. You see them with the trailers all painted up and come down to dive some of those springs. But do you have a lot of interest? Do you take those trips?
Most of the locals. You have a few locals that like to go to the springs. Most people go to the springs when you can't get in the Gulf, or in the winter.
Yeah.
When the water in the Gulf is dropped 10 degrees colder than the springs, and the springs are actually now the warm water.
And then people don't realize that.
Yes.
It feels cold, boy, in the summertime, but it's actually warmer.
Yes,
it's
really 10 degrees warmer in the winter. It's the springs are the warm water, not the cold water.
It's really true, true. So a lot going on right now. I mean, you're running classes just constantly.
We run
right?
classes
you don't
every
have to
weekend.
wait if you're ready to go.
That's right.
You got to get geared up for scallop season coming on. And basically, like we said, you're talking about a one-stop shop. If you need it or you forgot it, or you need to upgrade it,
you should be able to get whatever you need from the Tyndall store.
Yeah, and so and trips, like I said, this trip was where the shark. You shot that yesterday, but I mean, you're basically running trips daily.
Every day. I'll be going out again today.
Going this morning.
When I get done here, I'll go get on the boat.
So listen, you got plenty of opportunities. You need to go down and talk with these guys, whether you're snorkeling or you're interested in getting into scuba diving, and it's a great way to find out if you're going to like it. I mean, I don't think I've ever had anybody that didn't like it.
No, and it's becoming more and more on our boats as families. You have
everybody's joining
father, mother, and kids that are all diving together, and they're enjoying it, and that's become quite common now.
It'll open up a new world to you, I promise. It's absolutely gorgeous. Clay, thanks for coming in. Always enjoy watching. I'm glad I got to be here with you on this. Folks, do something great for somebody and have a good day.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors.